And good evening and welcome to City Focus. I'm Marty Olsen, your host, and tonight I'm delighted to welcome back one of my favorite Republican candidates for City Council, Hans Hartman, and thanks for coming on.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me again.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, one thing I recognize is you're not shy, and I like having guests that are not shy.
Well, that's me. I'm not shy. Not shy at all.
Those who come in with yes and no answers are not my favorite guests. But I don't speak to you on a daily basis, but we do connect from time to time. But since you're in the campaign mode, I just figured we could open up with what you're kind of picking up and what's the pulse on the street.
Well, actually, I've had lots and lots of people say, I'm really tired of what the Democrats are doing, and I really would like to see something change. And I've had plenty of Democrats, all but maybe 3 out of the hundreds that I've spoken with, who've said, I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote Republican because people are getting tired of what's going on in New London. And they, you know, when you get tired, you vote with your feet, or in this case, you vote with your vote. So people are really, they're just sick and tired and fed up with everything that's going on with having a completely Democrat, no Republican, no dissenting voice. They want to see something change. So that's what I'm hearing from everybody.
Now, as you've been going around the city, have you been campaigning with any of the other Republican candidates, or you've been kind of soloing it?
I've done a bunch of events with Aaron Ide, with John and I.
John Russell.
Thank you,
and
John
Gina?
Russell, and Gina, and John Martin, and but those are the events. But going around town, seeing people, talking to people. I'll talk to anybody. In fact,
I like that. You need votes from everybody.
Absolutely. I stopped over at the dollar store the other night to pick up some stuff for an event, and when I pulled up, somebody else was pulling up, and he saw the side of my truck, which has this poster on it, on both the passenger and the driver's side door, and also on the tailgate. And he said, "Oh, you're running as a Democrat?" And I said, "Hell no, I'm running as a Republican because we need a change in New London." And we started talking for a moment, and he's like, "You know, I'm going to vote for you." He's like, "I like you. I'm going to vote for you. You have the right things that you're saying. You have our interest in mind." And I've been bringing these around and putting them on people's doors, and on the back where the QR code is, you can click on that and you can actually see my entire platform that I'm putting out there before the election, so people will know this is where I stand. And I'm not shy about where I stand, because I believe that if I'm lukewarm or if I'm milquetoast, why get me into office? It's not worth it.
Well, you know, you get the Republican base of those who come out to vote, but in order to be successful, you need to get disaffected Democrats, or those Democrats that may look at their entire ticket and say, well, I'll vote for this one or that one or this one, but they're looking for competent, quality alternatives to fill out their ballot.
Yeah. The only thing that I have going against me for this particular election is the fact that because Democrats, there are a couple of Democrats who are running under the Democrat Party and then 2 other parties as well. And the only person who's running under 3 parties, which I still don't get, is like you can serve one master and hate the other, or you can hate one master and serve another. And I honestly don't understand how somebody can be like that. But I am in one row and it goes this person, me, this person, this person. So as people are going across, if they want to vote for that person, they need to understand they can vote for that person.
And vote for you.
And vote for me, even if we're in the same line, because it's just 7 names that you pick when you vote. And if you have a penchant to, like, let's say Bob is running. You want to vote for Bob? Cool, great. Don't forget to vote for Hans. Don't forget to vote for Aaron. Don't forget to vote for Gina. Don't forget to vote for John. All these different things that we want to make sure we have happen. Vote for the person you want, but vote for change. And the most important thing is that people come out and actually vote. Because if you don't get out and vote on, I think it's November 4th, there's no voice. You don't have a voice. People complain all the time, but how many people do something about it? I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't just sit back. I need to actually do something. And that's why I'm running. I mean, it's not like this is my lifelong goal to be in politics. I just know that I'm the kind of person who will stand up and say, this is what's right, and this is what should happen. And if somebody disagrees, great. That's how our government is built. Our government is built to be, you have one opinion, I have an opinion. We have discourse between us, but we also have connection between us. So we can find a common ground and find the thing that's best for everybody, instead of just basically being a rubber stamp.
And that's what I think that you're competing against right now, is a council that has fallen into the trap of rubber stamping.
Yes.
Whatever the mayor wants. He basically either does or corrals the votes, and there's basically no resistance at all. Not even discussion, certainly no public discourse.
No, and I've actually had some people who have said, I'm going to vote for you, because they've gone to city council meetings and they've gotten their time up at the mic, and it's the people will just start looking at their phones, or in one case, this gentleman I spoke with said, and then they just started laughing at me and talking over me on the mic, and they shut my mic off when I still had time. And that shouldn't happen. And I've said this both times I've been on your show. The government is there to serve us. We're not there to serve and sanction the government. We're there to be there and elect people to be in the government so they can serve us. And if they're not serving us, get out.
Well, one thing I think that gets lost, and has for an extended period of time, it's not just with this council, but is that the city council meetings in the council chambers, which does have a limited capacity.
Yes.
But my point being is that this is the only place in town where the council meets twice a month, where the public can come in and see all of their councilors at the same time.
Yes.
Or they should see them all the time. I understand that many of them take weeks off, so you may not get all 7. You may only get 5 or 6 or whatever.
Sure.
But in theory, this is the chance, and it's important for the councilors to speak on the issues of the day and what's on the agenda, so that
Absolutely.
the public will have an idea of what they're actually thinking, and not just voting. Because if they caucus and vote, we don't really know what motivated that particular decision.
Well, I don't think that a lot of people are going to, on the council, that are there now, would enjoy it too much if I'm there, because I would say, why? Why do you want that? And I would make them explain themselves, and I would be that person asking questions that people who are there watching and trying to get a word in would be asking themselves. Because when you start asking somebody, why are you doing this? They very often don't have an answer. Because it's not an answer. You have to know why you're voting a certain way. Does it do better for the city? Does it help people who need the help? Does it keep our police force intact? Does it keep our public works intact? Does it give a 17.5% raise to the mayor's office, which happened the same time that public works got a 1-point-something% reduction in their pay, and they laid off people? So I don't get it. I just don't get it. Because, I mean, we can look back to late 70s, early 80s, when New York City had the garbage strike, and it was garbage out there for weeks, and actually there were cases of bubonic plague because there were so many rats, and they were getting out, and people were getting bitten by the fleas that get on the rats, and it was being carried. And people think bubonic plague, come on, it's still here. It's just we're a lot cleaner than we used to be. And when I walk through New London and I see people who are homeless, sleeping on the street, people gathering around the old James laundromat in that doorway where it says, do not trespass, do not sit here, all I got. And there are, 20 people in there just shoved in there trying to stay out of the weather, whether it's hot or cold. I see people, I literally saw somebody using drugs, like with a needle, the other night. And I'm like, that's crazy. I don't understand. We should not have that here in town, because the city of New London is a noble city. It's got history that most people will never even learn. I mean, for goodness sakes, before the War of 1812, New London was the largest producer of rum in the world. People don't know that.
I didn't know
But it's
that.
our history. It's our history.
I know a fair amount, but I didn't know that.
Yes, and that was one of the reasons that the British came and burnt New London, because they didn't want us making all that money from the rum. So, yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
But we need more voices to say what the people who are looking at what's happening. We need more voices to say what they're thinking, because they are us.
And they are.
They are.
One thing I've noticed has been popping up around town are these. You got your signs out in the lawns, and a few of our other candidates do as well.
Yes.
And I think I like your sign. It stands out, and I like it with the. It's kind of funny. Generally speaking, I don't think much of the ones with the photographs, but yours kind of has a little pop to it. It's a little bit different. The shirt, and you look pretty handsomely there. I mean,
Well, it does. It's much better than what I look like in person. It actually is. Some people would say, "Oh, it's an animation of you, or a cartoon, or a caricature of you." It's a cleaned up version of what I look like. It's I'm going to say the two letters that nobody likes to hear anymore, but it's an AI version of me, because I was trying to put this poster together, and I needed to get a photograph that looked good and worked, and my wife was like, it doesn't look exactly like you, but we get the picture.
Yep.
And
And you've got it other places.
Yeah.
You handed me one of these when I came in, and those
Yeah.
folks who need a tote bag, I think you need to see Hans.
well,
I don't know how many you got, but I like it.
if anybody sees me driving around,
And you have a sign on your car or your.
oh, I have one of these. It's like a laminate sign. One on the driver's side, one on the passenger side, and one on the tailgate. And as I said on next door, which is, it's like a local Facebook, I said, please, if you see me driving along, wave, but use all 5 fingers to wave. And because I actually drove by somebody the other day, and I won't say who it was, but I'll just say that he's at the state level, and he's a Democrat, and I heard him say some very choice words toward me as I drove by about my sign, and get that off of there, and I don't want to see that. And oh well. But if somebody sees me and they would like to have a handy dandy tote bag, here, right there, there. Honk your horn, do whatever, wave me down. I have probably 200 in my truck that I drive around with, and if you see me at an event, say hi, come up and say, hey, give me a bag. I'd be happy to give you a bag, because you walk around with a bag, all it says is New London and Hartman. Doesn't say anything else, but
Gets the point across.
it does.
And
I think
it's,
so.
It's a coordinated effort, and then you have the
Yeah.
the door hangers.
Yeah.
And I again, the QR code, which will take
If you-
folks to your.
There. Well, if you, the QR code, if you have one of these on your door, or again, if you see me, and just, if I give these to you, just take your phone out, click on the QR code, and it brings you right over to the New London Republican Town Committee website, and it's got all of my platform on there, along with an absolutely wonderful picture of me, because, no. But, no, I'm passionate about whatever I do, and my wife said, Hans, you realize that, this is not like a job. I said, no, it's not. I said, it's commitment. It's something that I'm going to do because I can do this, and I am the person who will stand up for other people. I'm the kind of person who, if somebody's in trouble, I'll pull over and I'll help them. I do a lot of volunteer work. I do a lot of community work with kids who need help. There was the carnival over at St. Joe's over the summer. I started
and folks that I've been talking to who they remember you and the work that you did putting that together and putting it on.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had a very positive
Oh gosh, yes.
impact on that particular project.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I attend St. Joseph's, and there are a lot of people in town who also attend St. Joseph's, and I had an absolutely wonderful talk with a lady who is currently on the school board, and she's a Democrat, and she said, do you know what I like about you, Hans? And I said, what's that? She said, you want to talk to people. You want to have dialogue, and you want to be able to hear ideas as well as say your ideas. And I said, if we don't do that, we shouldn't be Americans, or at least we shouldn't call ourselves Americans, because Americans, we speak. That's our first guaranteed right in the Bill of Rights is our ability to just talk. Freedom of speech. You know?
Well, as I have stated on this program with candidates and as well as at our town committee meetings, and try to emphasize as strongly as I know how. I think sometimes folks listen and other times they tune me out. But in any event, your best asset is you.
Absolutely.
And you talking like you're talking to me now, and we're having a discussion.
Yes.
And you have to listen, and you'll find out what's important to that particular
Oh, absolutely.
elector, and try to find something that you can, that common thread that's going to bring them in to say, you know what, this gentleman's the right guy for the job. All this stuff does is reinforce.
Yeah.
People aren't going to vote for a sign, they're going to vote for you.
Sure, sure. This sign, this will let people see, oh, it's that guy, you know, the older guy, big, you know, Hawaiian shirt all the time. I love Hawaiian shirts. But I'm that guy who anybody can just start talking to me, and I'll sit there and I'll talk to them. You want to talk to me? Just come up and talk to me. I have no problem. I mean, I probably spend half an hour, 45 minutes at Stop and Shop longer than I should, because every time I go and Stop and Shop, I end up talking to people. I don't know.
I could run a campaign and Stop and Shop.
If we only had New London people in Stop and Shop, I'd be all set.
So, but I mean, but I like the approach. I mean, you've got an integrated approach and attack to accomplish your goal.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to inquire, and I haven't really had a chance to with the candidates who've come through here on the show. To your knowledge, sitting here this evening, is there any discussion about a debate or forum amongst the candidates?
There is. We're actually going to have, and I'm trying to remember exactly who is putting it on. I should know that. Unfortunately, I'm not the greatest with names.
Well, let me throw some things out at you. See, League of Women Voters.
That's the one. I didn't want to say the name
with the
incorrectly.
League, are they doing it singularly? They often would do that in conjunction with the day.
I know that we have like our bios and pictures going into the day. And I know that we have the League of Women Voters who have invited the Republicans and the Democrats both, and also the couple of people from the
Green Party?
Green Party. So there are going to be 17 people who have been invited, I think, or
That sounds like a lot, but that's okay, because they've got 7, we've got 5, that's 12.
12, 13, 14. 13 or 14 people total.
Yeah, I think there's
that
2
have
or
been-
3 Green
yeah.
Party candidates.
But they've invited us all, and I immediately said, I'm there, time and date, and
Do you
I put it in my
have the
calendar.
date in place?
I would have to look it up in my phone, but yes, there is a date and a place, and let me,
I think that's important.
unless you have that readily available, I will just pull this up here, and let's see, it's a Wednesday that it is, so I believe, so is it, or maybe a Tuesday.
I hope it's a Tuesday.
Very sorry, because I don't have it right where I'm like looking right at it. But I do have the email, and I just don't have that information.
I'll get that information
my
to me,
fingertips.
please, at your
I will.
convenience. Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, 2 years ago, there were, well, I think Hearing Youth Voices sponsored more of a forum discussion, but no Democrats attended.
That's unfortunate. Really is.
That gives you an idea of the scorn and arrogance that they feel that they don't have to get in front of the people and address the issues of the day and defend their actions and positions.
It might not be the fact that they have arrogance. It may be the fact that they don't want to have to answer for certain things.
Like why they aren't there.
Well, not only why they aren't there, but things like, why do we have as many cost overruns on things that we're doing here in town? And why do we have these horrendous tax vacations for these people bringing in all these apartment buildings? I think it's great to have housing. We need housing that's affordable, though, because honestly, you move into one of these apartments and you're paying almost as much as I'm paying in my mortgage. I mean, every month, and you're not paying it to own it, you're just paying it to be there.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. The money's gone. I would much rather see people who can, and honestly, I would much rather say, hey, let's take a neighborhood area or create a neighborhood where we have, and people hear tiny home and they're like, oh no, I don't want to live next to a box. Tiny homes aren't just boxes. Tiny homes are 900 square feet or less. And honestly, there are some homes like that already in New London that are under 900 square feet. So a tiny home just means a certain number of square feet. How you use it, how you put it together, that's the difference. But it's not affordable because people are going, I can get this much for it. Because the city has so much land under their control, if they said, we're going to make housing affordable so people who fall into a certain wage bracket would be able to afford a home in a place where you can actually own your home. You might have to park like you're at an apartment, but your home, you get to own it. And even if it were, the city wants to make sure that we have condos that go up, and even if there's a small condo fee to take care of the things that need to be taken care of, because it's always something that needs to be taken care of, even though taxes typically take care of that if, like at my house, but I have to mow my own lawn or I have to hire somebody.
Yeah. Well, Tony Silvestri did something of a similar nature down in the Harbor Tower area. Excuse me, Reed Street to Coit Street.
Yeah.
And he purchased some of the more rundown buildings and homes in that neighborhood and cleaned them up and converted them into 3-4 units and sold them.
Yeah.
So, and I forget what he called them off the top of my head, but it was in that same vein.
I see this very funny dichotomy. Back in the early 1960s, we would be Democrats and they would be Republicans, which is kind of funny because it's kind of all flip-flopped. We're the party of the average guy. They're the party of the people with money who want to take money and keep money and not give it away or help people with it. And they have hypnotized people. Literally, I'd never vote for a Republican. Why? That's the best question in the world. Why? Because they don't have an answer. Well, everyone goes, oh, well, Trump. I'm like, I haven't seen him in town. Have you? Because I don't walk around going like this, and I don't talk about Melania, because that's not my thing. I'm Hans. I care about the people in my community. I am looking out for the people in my community. I am looking out for the money that's being taken from us and spent foolishly and without regards to who it's hurting. As long as certain people get their great big paychecks and their great big retirements and their great big raises and their great big this and their great big that, and they get their car fixed here because they don't have to pay for it, and the whole thing. We don't need that. We don't need people who come in and just take. We need people to come in and go, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have some genuine concerns with the quantity of apartments that have been and are continuing to be built. We are going to, I think, reach a
Saturation point, yes.
Saturation point, and because what the city's doing is, it's not a word you hear in democratic circles, but what they're doing is they're gentrifying our community in a big way. And they're bringing in these very well-paid young folks that are primarily, not exclusively, engineers coming into Electric Boat, whether they work on this side of the bridge or go over to Groton, and they're the folks that are filling these apartments. And from what I glean from many is that they come in, they sign that first lease for a year, and many of them after that first year are seeking alternative accommodations because it's expensive.
You can't afford it.
And it's not what they need, and the rents go up after a year. The landlords are not static.
Well, the thing that I see about that also is, I would love to know why these people got to come in and build these projects and get that 20-year tax moratorium. Because when I came into New London and I bought my house in April of, 23, my wife and I moved back to the area. I don't have a tax moratorium. I'm still paying my taxes. I have to pay taxes. I went down to the assessor's office or to the city clerk's office, and my wife is honorably discharged 20-year service for our country in the U.S. Coast Guard. She's a retired lieutenant commander. And I went in and I got the paperwork filled out so she can get, a discount on our taxes. And the discount I found was we take $1,500 off of the assessed value of your house.
$1,500.
I think you said 1,500. It may have been 15,000, but either way, my assessment just went up more than that anyway. I mean, we got our taxes lowered, and then everything assessed to the point where we're paying more than what we were paying before. And I didn't vote for that. Was there a referendum? I didn't see it. I never heard of that. I think I would have, but I didn't.
Oh, so that's just something too, is that with the referendums, the city is taken a position, which I find abhorrent, I might add, where if a petition is circulated regarding the annual budget or the mill rate, or both, where they'll accept it because they have to, and then they will stall to a point where it becomes moot and they never have the vote.
Right.
That's thumbing their nose at the electorate that wants to have an opportunity to exercise their rights to challenge their government.
The wheels of progress turn slowly for a reason, because when you progress and you try and get things solved, people find that when they're in power, those things that get solved take power away from those other people. I'm the kind of person who believes in term limits. I believe that nobody should have all the power. Nobody. I actually would love to see us go back to a city manager. The whole idea of having a mayor who's the, he's the top dog law keeper in the city, though he never went through the police academy. He's also supposed to be the best with numbers and the best with knowing how to do all of these different jobs. Well,
There's no public
you'd need a Superman for
administration experience
Yeah.
at all, or education.
Well, I mean, you have somebody who was a fireman and a lawyer, and now he's mayor, and he's getting a pension from being a fireman. As far as I know, he doesn't practice law anymore, but he understands law. He was an attorney, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I think that as an attorney, he figured out, how do I use the law to make things better for me? Instead of how do I use the law to make things better for the people that I'm supposed to be here to serve? How can you say you are serving somebody if the person who is the top dog in the city, as far as all of the rules and regulations go, he makes all these rules and regulations and says, I want these things because they're going to benefit me, and then you just have a group of 7 people who go with a rubber stamp and just say, okay.
Now we've got a hot
Doesn't work.
button issue. We've discussed this on this program. Now, we've recently gone out seeking RFPs for the operation of Ocean Beach Park. And
For
what's
anybody who
happened?
doesn't know,
Just one.
say RFPs. Tell people out there what RFPs are, and
It's a request for proposals.
right. And how many has he gone out and gotten before we lost the contract from
Sodexo?
Sodexo? Thank you. How many proposals do we have now that we have no contract for any group to actually run Ocean Beach? So it's basically middle management people who don't own a company are working there trying to do their best to keep things going. We have to have groups like SOB, which is Save Our Beach, who, I mean, they do as much as they can. They do everything they can to try and put money into Ocean Beach to save it. And it's a city property. Why should we have to try and save Ocean Beach if we can go and, I think I said this last time, we could go right to Mohegan Sun, and they know how to run a park. The Ocean Beach is a park, and it was set up as an amusement park. And the whole idea of the boardwalk and the rides and the dance hall and the nightclub and the restaurant, most people don't even know that half the things that are there are there. Did you know that there's a mini golf course there?
I do.
Well, when's the last time you went and played mini golf there?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. I walked by there over the summer. Didn't look like it was like in the greatest shape. It looked like it needed some rehab. But where's the money going that's coming in? And why don't we have more things to attract more people? And why don't we do something about trying to get more people in? Why don't we have more things that are going to benefit the city to get more people in? For instance, if we had an Ocean Beach bus line that could go from commuter parking lots, so people could park over there, get on the bus, don't have to worry about paying that extra amount, because if you get on the bus, you're paying your entrance fee there. You get on the bus, you park over at whatever, and you're in. You don't have to worry about having to trudge out to your car. Where did I park? Get on the bus, go back out to the parking area, just like you do at the airport.
Yeah. But with this one proposal that we've received, I don't recall seeing anything in our local tabloid indicating what's in this proposal.
See,
Heaven forbid, it's a secret.
I didn't even know that we got that proposal because besides trying to
Now, are they
become
going to go
elected,
out for more proposals, or are they going to? And Sodexo, who's the current operator,
Yes.
did not submit a proposal.
doesn't surprise me.
So we've got an operator, which, from what I glean, is a relatively new business. They've been in business a little over a year, so they don't have much of a track record.
You can't have a track record if it's under a year. Track record is at least 2 years.
Well, I bring this up and say some things a little bit facetiously here, but now what are they going to do? Negotiate with this one proposal and come up with a deal? Now that sounds a little spurious to me.
Where are these people out of?
They're out of New York State. I think they're outside of the city.
And because as of today, there is no management at Ocean Beach. Contract's over. We're October 1st. Sodexo doesn't have a contract anymore. So I don't know who's running Ocean Beach as of today. But if we only have one proposal, which we should have had multiple proposals and an open bid process, and then have many people from all in the city, because this all affects our taxes. Many people from in the city who understand these things say, I would like to review this and give my opinion.
And why aren't any local people submitting proposals?
Well, I think they know that they would have an uphill battle. The only thing is that the local people who could do it, and I don't say this because I have a big love for Mohegan Sun. I don't gamble. But they know how to run a business. They absolutely know how to run this type of business. Look at what they've done with their casino. Because I don't even think of it, I think of it as a place for concerts, a place for sports, a place for shopping. Oh yeah, and if you like to gamble, you can gamble. I don't go there to gamble.
Oh, neither do I.
I would rather gamble at Ben and Jerry's or something like that. But it's mind-boggling to me because there are companies like the amusement company that runs Dollywood. They would be a perfect place to go after and say, we'd like you to submit a proposal, because they could turn this place around like nobody's business.
And one thing that we don't know is what kind of, in terms of the request for proposals, is what kind of barriers did the city include in the request? I mean, we'll allow you to do this and we'll do that. And is there a connection anywhere? The mayor berates Mr. Shagru and Sodexo because the buildings in the boardwalk and things of this nature are falling down. Well, guess what? The city's responsible for all this. It's not the operator's issue.
Yeah,
but he scapegoats those guys.
Constantly. And he scapegoats them about the shortfall. Sodexo was hired to run their concessions. And basically it's like, run the food services, and
I don't know how much latitude they have to integrate or initiate any winter activities. I don't know.
If you want to integrate something,
or call it off season.
Well, if you want to integrate anything that's off-season, you would have to have not only a plan, but you would also have the ability, like, if you have Mohegan Sun come in and their whole thing is run the entertainment and the food, and you have another company and you say to them, we want you to be the facilities. You have one group taking care of facilities, everything from parking lots, light bulbs, making sure that nobody's tripping over screws that are sticking out this far from the boardwalk, or boards that have popped up and there is no screw, what the buildings look like, what the interiors of the buildings look like, which they would have to work with the people who are doing things like the entertainment part. If you got two groups of people together and said, you both work together, this is how it is, you're doing this, and then you have, you have your circles where they overlap on your Venn diagram. There's no reason why this shouldn't be like the place to go during the summer. Honestly, there would be people, if this were done right, there would be people going on vacation to come to Ocean Beach. Why don't we have a hotel there? We have all these people building buildings to house people for, $3,000 a month or whatever it is, for a large apartment. But why don't we have people who are actually building things that are going to truly make the city money? What would it cost to put a hotel with 2 floors and make it a little bit exclusive? Because you can charge a lot more per night than you can per month, if you add it all up, to put a hotel in. I see no hotels really coming up in New London, and people are like, well, people aren't coming here to visit. Right, because for one, there are no hotels, and two, what are you coming to visit? You coming to see the submarine museum over in Groton? Oh wait, that's in Groton. You coming to see the Eagle? Well, it's not here all the time. Are you coming to see downtown? Well, you can't walk around downtown at night. It's not properly lit. And you don't have enough police to go, we're going to keep drugs off the street. So what are they doing in City Council and in City Hall to make this a more attractive place to come and visit and spend your money? It's all about getting people to come in and dole out the money.
Boston has the Freedom Trail of historic sites. And I have been saying this now for 20 years, if not more. I mean, we have a good number of small historical sites that you could package into a half-day day trip into New London.
Oh, yeah.
And do a walking tour. Now, there are those who will say, well, we have these plaques in the sidewalk. Well, I don't see many people walking around reading plaques on the sidewalk. I don't think they know they're there.
No.
And we don't market it. And we don't have anybody in the community who's, and also many of these sites are little singular operations, and they don't play well together.
No, they don't. And I know this is totally off the subject, but as you said, people walk around and look for, it made me think, you can't find an ATM in downtown New London, like all along Bank Street, unless you go up to Sam's, the convenience store, a little gas station. That's the closest one to anywhere in downtown New London. So if you have to go over to the police station and pay $10 in cash for a permit to do something, and you don't have any cash, you have to go all the way over to Sam's, and that's where the closest ATM is. Or you have to go all the way, like, over towards Coleman.
Well, I'm surprised. I would think that small Citizens Bank on the Columbus, they don't have an ATM? That's
No, there's not enough lighting. That's the problem. People, you can go to Coleman Street over to the B of A, you can go to a couple other places, but it's not a friendly city when it comes to how can I get the services that I really need and want if I'm not the very rich person getting the very big salaries and not having to worry and I'm just being driven around. If you're the normal every guy, you need an ATM every so often. You need to find a way to get here, there, and the other place. And you need a reason to come to New London. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and our central business district has a 50% vacancy.
There you go. That also has to do with the lighting and the lack of police.
And that's a problem at the beach too. I mean, there's a perception issue
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
things aren't safe here.
Well,
And the mayor has got blinders on, and by extension, so does the council, because they don't fund and get the PD up to fully staffed, and that's bad business.
it is bad business. And until we have people who have the in mind for everything they do, the right and the wrong of what will make New London successful, our best interests in mind in everything they do, not their best interest, but the community's best interest. Until we have people in office who have the best interests of the community, we're not going to have anybody adding to our income here in New London, bringing in more and making this a better place to live. And that's what I want to do. I want to make New London a better place to live.
Well, I want to wish you success. Unbelievably, we've kind of run out of time. You know,
It happens.
City Focus, when you get a good guest, time flies. But I want to thank you for coming in
Marty,
again, Hans.
thank you very much.
I don't know if we'll get another chance between now and the election, but if we do, we have to double up. Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I want to give all of our candidates an opportunity to express themselves.
Well,
Last week I had Sarah Turner in, and she's
wonderful.
a ball of fire.
She is. She'll make a great seat on the Board of Education.
So, but thank you for coming in. Always appreciate your thoughts
Thank you,
and
Marty.
commentary. We could go on for hours,
Yes.
but unfortunately they don't give us that.
No.
Folks, you've been watching City Focus. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching, and good night.